everybody, it's Annette with the Art of Intuition, and today we're going to talk about why things collapse, why timelines collapse. We're going to talk a little bit about karmic timelines. How do we know the difference between a karmic timeline and one that is not karmic, that is built on a much more pure foundation? So we're going to cover a couple of things today. Number one, why do timelines collapse? When I talk about a timeline, I really just am talking about a reality. Your current reality. Why does it start imploding? Why do jobs end? Why do relationships end? Why do things start going wrong in different situations? Especially if you feel like you're in a loop and you keep repeating the same ending, even if you have different people there. So it's like we've exchanged some faces along the way, but we're still on the same road and we still hit the same ending every time. So what you want to look at when you create anything with anyone, and that includes bosses, that includes organizations, that includes every person you meet, because technically every person you meet, you're in a relationship with, whether it be for a short exchange or a long exchange. What is it? Is it karmic? Is it not karmic? Is it built on a more pure timeline that's going to last? Is it a pure unification timeline? So what is it built on? Number one, what is the energy that built it? Did we compromise? Did we compromise over money? That's a big one. Did we settle for less? Did we say we weren't good enough? And don't just look and say, oh, no, I don't do that. Look at the energy. Look at your inner thoughts. Because if things are playing out always the same way and they keep collapsing, it doesn't matter what maybe you're saying. Words don't matter. It's the energy behind the words. And you get to a certain consciousness level, it's like telepathy. You hear, people can say whatever they want to say. You hear the energy of what they're not saying. And that's what's important. The energy of what people are not saying. And what you're not saying, but you're still projecting it out. You're still settling. You're saying, I'm not worthy of more than that. That's the best I can do. I'm compromising over love. I'm compromising over money. I'm not loving myself enough and putting myself in situations that are not kind to myself. All of that, no matter which way you slice it and dice it, they're all karmic timelines. Every one of them. If there's any lack involved, lack of integrity, lack of honor, lack of trust, lack of respect for yourself, and these are all our own lacks. See, we can say they're other people's, but they're really our own lack. People only mirror back what we already hold inside. So if you're having a lot of realities that are built on lack of integrity, look at yourself. Because you're holding that somewhere in your body, or you wouldn't keep coming across it. Now, sometimes it's to test us to see if we will say no more. I will not enter into this karmic timeline anymore. And sometimes it's just to show us, oh, there it is again. Because no matter, every time we get out of one situation and into the next, different people, different organizations, different whatever, you're moving up into a higher timeline. It might still be karmic, but it's still a higher version of the one you had before. If that might not make a lot of sense, but just think about that. So look at the energy behind everything you're creating. And to really create something from your purest place, it takes to be very connected inside to even see when you're not creating something from its purest place. A lot of things I get into, I look at the timeline, I look at where I'm coming from, I look at where the other person might be coming from, because sometimes you have to say no. I don't want that karmic timeline anymore. I don't want it, because they will collapse. Karmic timelines are not meant to last. They always collapse. And they collapse on top of us. They're collapsing faster now than they used to, I think. And you see things collapsing all over the place, but they're not meant to. That's not what karmic's meant to show us something, and we move on to the next one. They show us something, we move on to the next. That might last for a few years. It's not that long, really, but they're karmic. Look at the energy you're creating it with. Fear. Is fear an energy you're using? If it's not from your purest place, and you're very connected inside to even know when you're from your purest place, it's karmic. Now, how do you clear a karmic timeline? Because we can move everything from karmic to a higher state of consciousness, to a purer relationship. How do we do that? We have to say no to the current timeline we're in, the current organization, the current person, the current whatever it is. We have to say no. I'm not compromising over that. I'm not settling for less. I deserve more. Until we're able to say those things, and some people might, let's say you're in a relationship with another person, and they might say, and completely change what they're doing, because you have now said that's not okay. It's not respectful to me, and it's no longer going to continue. This time is going to close out if it does not shift into a higher conscious relationship. It's just not going to last. I will close it myself. Because we can always collapse them ourselves. We always feel like there's a lot of, you can hear when people have a lot of victim energy to a story. They're the victim in the story, someone did it to them. We allow it. We allow the karmic timelines to keep taking place, and then we keep getting into new ones. We keep calling for new karmic timelines. So look at what you're creating. Is it karmic? Is it from your purest place? I think you're going to see a lot of what we create. I know when I looked at what I was creating, pretty much everything I created was karmic. All of it. Whole reality I had was karmic. There was nothing pure about anything I'd ever created. Nothing. It's all karmic. Close them down. Shift everything up. Okay, everybody. What more can I say? Look at your relationship. Look at what's karmic. And keep practicing the art of intuition.